anyways, welcome back.
Welcome to our channel.
To Fill in the Blank podcast for episode number 2. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Oh, wow, guys. Who is this person?
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Guys, enjoyed the first episode. We're a little goofy today because we have coffee, so it's a little different.
I think it's delirium. I think I'm
that
tired.
As well. Yeah, I'm a little tired too.
It's okay.
I'm a little tired too.
It's okay.
But we're going to make it through.
Yeah.
Today's our launch party.
Woo!
So we're having our launch party today for our... Wow. Stuff's happening. But yeah, we're having our launch party today for our close friends to come and be able to get a special screening of the first episode.
Like, who do we think we are?
I don't know. I don't know who we think we are, but people are coming, so they must think that we're doing something good.
I am excited, though, to just share this with the people who are closest to us and whose opinions we really value.
Yeah.
Because I would like some feedback because, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. We're trying it out for the first time, so
yeah.
It'll be nice to get some feedback and see what they think and how they like it.
Yeah.
And then apparently, like, we might have a little Q&A time. That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
No, I think that they should be able to ask us questions.
I mean, yeah, but it's like the fact that I'm out here answering questions is weird.
I know. It's weird. Okay, but let's jump into it.
Started.
Let's get into it, yeah. Okay, hold on.
What's the Oh, okay. Okay. Coffee break. What's the fill in the blank for the day, Kayla?
Okay. So, guys, as we said, I'll just give a slight introduction. We like to psychoanalyze ourselves.
It's fun.
A lot. It's fun, and it's good to know things about yourself and to be introspective. So,
I agree.
Me and Iyanna have taken a couple of quizzes, personality quizzes, if you will, to learn some things about ourselves and where we are in our lives. So the fill in the blank is personality quizzes and tests help me blank. What do they help you do?
Help me be understanding.
Okay.
Not just to myself, but to other people. Which is why I've made...
Explain that to other people.
Well, first of all, reading about myself helps because I understand. First of all, having your strengths and weaknesses listed out like that is real interesting.
It's humbling.
It's very humbling. Very humbling. Because things that I wouldn't even thought were a weakness are absolutely a weakness.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I've made the people who are closest to me also take personality tests. Like my parents. I remember we were going through a transition at one point. And in order for us to help each other through that transition, we took personality tests and we read each other's profiles and were able to have understanding. I thought I knew who my parents were, only to realize I was seeing my parents through a certain lens of my own understanding of who they are in my life.
Yeah.
But reading it, I saw them as people. It's like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. And that's really cool because I think that a lot of people can probably relate to the fact that you see your parents in such a different light because they've been your providers and they've been like strong people in your life. They've done things to help you. So you almost see them kind of like superheroes. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to see them as normal people and the things that they went through prior to having us and raising us up. So it is kind of cool to have them take the personality test and quizzes to get to know them on a deeper level that they might not share with you as readily as what that will naturally expose when you see the results.
It is getting to know them as just individuals, aside from who they are to us.
Yeah.
But it's definitely helped our relationship, that's for sure.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first one that we're going to go into, which is the attachment style quiz. Oh, I didn't say mine. Oh, what? Yeah. Okay, let me go back. So
why do we always forget
I don't
this
know.
part?
I don't know why we always... Okay. So I feel like personality quizzes and tests help me to be more equipped.
Okay.
Because of the fact that we're constantly growing and we're constantly learning about ourselves, like you said, it kind of makes things very black and white and practical about here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses. And knowing that these are not the end all be all to who we are as people, but it's a nice checkpoint to be able to see what are things that we should work on, things that we do like about ourselves, and then the weaknesses that we can try to improve on if we want to. And then to be able to really stand on your strengths and make that something in the forefront. Because I think that people a lot of time focus more on their weaknesses and trying to turn their weaknesses into strengths. But we all have weaknesses. It's natural to have weaknesses.
Exactly. Especially people like us, because we're very hypercritical of ourselves.
Yes.
Very.
That's something that comes up in one of my results too.
Yeah. See?
So that's really funny. But yes, very hypercritical.
But okay.
The attachment styles.
Attachment styles.
Yes. So
very important quiz, by the way.
The attachment style quiz basically gives you information about how you are attached to people. It takes into account your relationship with your parents growing up and then also your romantic relationships to determine if you are one of the four. So I'm going to pull it up because I want to be correct in what I say. So the four, okay. The four different ones are secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful avoidant. Yeah. So I can say that I took this quiz maybe about maybe 5 months ago. I don't know. That might. Yeah, I took it this year for sure. Recent. Fairly recently. And when I took it that time, I got anxious.
Really?
I got anxious. So the anxious attachment style is a form of insecure attachment style marked by a deep fear of abandonment. Ooh. Anxiously attached people tend to be very insecure about their relationships, often worrying that their partner will leave them, and thus always hungry for validation. Wow. And this is from mindbodygreen.com. I want to give them their
source.
Yeah, I'm sourcing it. But oh, wait, I have to read this part because this is pretty spot on. Anxious attachment is associated with neediness or clingy behavior, such as getting very anxious when your partner doesn't text back fast enough and constantly feeling like your partner doesn't care enough about you. Wow. So that was me.
Just 5 months ago?
Just some months ago.
Do you think it was like the specific season that you were in, or do you think that like that was actually your attachment style?
I think that was my attachment style. I think that I've done a lot of healing and growth. And previously, 110% an anxious person. Yeah. I think that growing up, I always had a little bit of a fear because of the fact that when I was young, my cousin's mother, my aunt, she passed away when I was really young. Oh, right. And so this started with my mom, this anxious attachment style, because I was so protective over her and I was very clingy to her and I wanted to do everything with her. I would throw temper tantrums if she tried to go out with her friends. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I remember, I think that my Nana told me this, that I said to my mom one time when I was younger, that I didn't want to lose her the way that my cousins had lost their mom.
Oh my God.
How crazy is that?
Imagine how magnified that feeling was when you did lose your mom.
Yeah, especially because I lost her at a young age still.
I mean, that's a lot to cope with.
Yeah, so I think that that's where that anxiousness started. And I just kind of carried it over into a lot of my romantic relationships as well, because I was always craving for that emotional connection and trying to fill that void up with romantic partnership, because it's technically in my mind at that time, it's the most intimate form of love that you could achieve.
I still kind of think it is.
It is. It definitely is. But I think that I've kind of changed in some ways to understand how to give that to myself and not seeking that validation in a partnership.
I mean, that's the hardest part about partnership, is managing yourself, your own anxieties, and not projecting those. I've learned that about myself in the past year. Thank God to my therapist. Shout out to Ariel. Okay. And I thought I was justified in projecting. Like, I thought that was my right. Only to realize, like, you can't put that kind of pressure on your partner like that. No. You have to manage your own. Now, if you have a reason to be address it, but still manage your own anxieties and the, crazy shit you might do.
Okay. And that's where I was at, like, trying to project all of that stuff onto my partner and make them give me those things. And I think that my relationship What were you about to say?
No, sorry.
I saw you thinking.
You see my mind?
I saw it going.
No, I literally just thought to where you were even 5 months ago. And I think I can remember there were a couple of things that, because you would vent to me about something. And in my mind, I'm like, Kayla, no. Kayla, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But I see now how you've changed just in the past couple of months.
Yeah, I think that counseling has been my biggest... I just can't say that I've done it on my own. It just has not been me. Counseling has helped me so much to identify a lot of these things. And I know that a lot of it is childhood trauma and my inner child craving certain things that I did not receive in the way that I wanted to in my childhood, and then looking for it in my partner. Yeah. And so I think I shifted my expectations, like, okay, I can't get this from my parents, so I'm going to get it from you. And so when I went through counseling and my counselor called me out about my inner child trauma that I was projecting, she was like, you don't have to look for those things in other people. You can give that to yourself. Yes. And it just changed everything for me. And I think that that's why now, going into the results, I got secure when we just took it most recently, because my perspective has completely shifted on the way that I view partnership and the way that I view connection with people. Wow. It's just, I don't expect the same things I would have expected a few months ago.
That's the big shift. It's like once your perspective changes, your behavior changes.
Yeah. So what did you get?
I got secure, but I know when I took it, I'll say maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, I was avoidant.
Ooh, okay, let's read avoidant.
Oh, God.
Let's read avoidant. Avoidant attachment style is a form of insecure attachment style marked by a fear of intimacy. People with avoidant attachment style tend to have trouble getting close to others or trusting others in relationships, and relationships can make them feel suffocated. Ooh. They typically maintain some distance from their partners or are largely emotionally unavailable in their relationships, preferring to be independent and rely on themselves.
Yeah.
So where does that come from?
Oh, man. Losing quite a few people in my life growing up. All of my relationships with all of my parental figures were always rocky with all of them, because I have like 3 sets of parents, honestly. Right. My bio mom, my bio dad, the man who semi-raised me, who I believed was my dad, then my cousin who raised me, and then my godparents. Like, it's a lot. It's always been rocky with parental figures, and those are the first relationships that you typically learn from. Right. But I've always felt that I needed to depend on only myself. Like, no one else really cared about me the way that I cared about myself, if I even cared about myself back then, because I think I realized then, like, I didn't even like myself. Yeah, it's hard to, though, when you have such rocky relationships in the people, because you learn to care about yourself from the way that your interactions are with your parental figures. Even by the way that you're loved by them. So, like, I mean, come on. Yeah. It's kind of hard to then give yourself that you weren't receiving from your parental figures at that time.
Yeah, but COVID definitely forced me to face some things I was running from. And I just thankfully was in a space where I was in a growth mindset, and I took the space and the time for myself. Yeah. And I really got to know myself. I was very uncomfortable with myself, but I nonetheless got to know myself, and I realized how much I had grown, I think, once the show happened, and I handled it a lot better than I probably would have before.
What do you think you would have done before?
Oh, God.
Because I would have... Didn't the show get put on pause? Like...
It was on pause, so I got some extra time,
right?
To make sure I was prepared for marriage,
right?
But before, I know for a fact, like, yes, I was insecure during the show. I mean, rightfully so. Like, an inappropriate... Well, I didn't know about the inappropriate conversation, but nonetheless, the just the whole situation, I wouldn't have been able to handle that before. My insecurities definitely wouldn't have gotten in the way, and it wouldn't have been like a thing where I wouldn't have been able to ask outright, like, I need reassurance in this moment, and this is what I need to see. I wouldn't have been able to communicate that at all. I wouldn't have even known what questions to ask, because I wouldn't have known what was healthy.
So you would have just kind of shut down.
Oh, I would have shut down all
and
the
just
way.
Been like,
all the way. I wouldn't have been vulnerable. I wouldn't have shared anything I needed to share. And then in the end, I wouldn't have felt completely comfortable with my choice and my decision.
Yeah.
And who knows where that could have led.
I know.
You know?
But that's so good. I think COVID was a good time if you used it wisely. To be able to really learn some things about yourself, because you couldn't run from yourself. Where you gonna go? You can't go nowhere.
You in the house. Just me and my mom.
Yeah.
Me and my cat.
You in the house with your cat, and that's it.
That's it.
But that's good that you were able to make that time into something positive.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to grow from some of the things that you went through before.
Right. Here's to growth.
Yes, here's to growth. We
Cheers.
got more coffee.
But yeah, so now look at us. Both of us secure attachment folks.
I know.
It's beautiful.
That's awesome. That makes me feel good, because I always still feel I'm naturally an anxious person because I have anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
So it feels good to know that I'm not portraying that in every area the way that I used to. Like, I will still be an anxious person. That's just a given. That's who I am. But it's not going to be as bad as before.
I think it's okay. I mean, if you're an anxious person, you're an anxious person. It's how you manage it.
Yes.
And manage your own anxieties. And it's comforting for me to know that you've done that growth, just because I know like your relationships are going to flourish have flourished because of it.
Yes.
It's
that feels good. And I feel like that's how I've also been able to have good connections with my friends.
I hope the camera can see this. I'm so mad to hear
What is happening?
I just want to say our manager is literally inching on the floor like a worm, trying to get to our audio. Like, what is it? What? I couldn't even continue with the conversation after that.
I had to stop on that note.
All I see is her fro just like moving. I'm surprised we didn't hear the sound effect. Like, what just happened?
Of her sliding her body across the floor. Are we still good to record, or should we stop?
Okay.
Oh, we're good. Okay. So I think that's a good point to move on to the next quiz.
What was the other one?
The 16 personalities test, which is the same thing pretty much as the Myers-Briggs assessment.
Yeah.
So you could go ahead and introduce it. I know you took some notes on it.
I did, because I wanted to make sure that everyone completely understood. And I've taken this test several times in my life. And it depends on what's going on and where I am in my journey, but I get different things. For the most part, my personality stays the same, but there are sometimes some shifts in the percentages, which will change the personality type. But so the way that it works is they'll oh God, how do I even say this? You take the test, you answer all these questions, and then you'll test it on what is it? I don't want to explain. You're tested on 5 personality things.
Right.
Introverted or extroverted, intuitive or observant, feeling or thinking, judging, perspective, and what's the other one?
I think that's it. Because you get
and then there's turbulent and assertive, but no one really. I mean,
yes, it is.
But no one really pays attention.
Right. Nobody pays attention to that part.
And then you get percentages, so you can see exactly how much of in the scale you are on each of those characteristics.
Right.
So do you want to talk about yours first, or you want me to go first?
I guess I'll talk about mine.
Okay, you go first.
I've taken this. The first time that I took this was actually when I was in college. I had to take it for a job. And it was such a cool thing. Like, that was one of the best jobs that I've ever had before, because they were really inclusive and they really wanted us to feel like a family. And not like, you know how jobs say that.
We're a family.
No, they really were about it. It was for real. And we were able to take this test. We took the actual Myers-Briggs assessment, though, so not the 16 personalities that's free. Like, we took the one where you writing it down and you bubbling in the answers and stuff. And they gave us our results, and they had us, like, for each of the different letters, go and stand on one side of the room versus the other, and kind of explain how those different character traits show up.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So when I first took it, I was an ENFP. So that is extroverted, intuitive, feeling, perceiving type. So since then, I've taken it, I think, 2 more times. So this is probably my second time taking it since I've graduated. The time that I took it before this time, I was an INFP, and I took it again just now, and I'm an INFP again.
Okay.
So with the 16 personalities, what's cool about it, they share with you what that type of person would be called technically. So mine came up as a mediator.
Yeah.
And then I actually have I'm the turbulent type. I don't really know what that means though, like we were talking about.
So I didn't take the notes on it, but it's just turbulent types are just a little bit more anxious.
Oh, sounds about right. So that's up my alley. A little
bit more anxious.
That's up my alley. Okay. So my results, I am. I'll just give the percentages and then we'll like do more of a deep dive after you share yours. So I am 43% extroverted, 57% introverted.
Okay.
Sounds right. 58% intuitive, 42% observant, 70% feeling, 30% thinking.
Okay.
So I feel everything. And then 61% prospecting and 39% judging.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I have the turbulent percentage too. Yeah, it says self-conscious and sensitive to stress. Oh, yeah. So 61% turbulent. So like,
oh, wow.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah. Okay, what's yours?
So I've taken this 3 times in my life. Once was in college. Then I would have been considered what they called an adventurer.
Okay.
So that's ISFP, and I was about to say intuitive. Introverted, observant, feeling, perspective thinker.
Okay.
Now I'm introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging individual. So 89% introverted.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
Wait, let me.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That means leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Just playing.
Essentially, don't talk to her.
Don't talk to her. Yeah. So 89% introverted. That's like crazy. I think people confuse introverts with people who are shy. I'm not shy. I just prefer fewer but really deep and meaningful,
intimate
social interactions.
Yes.
I feel a lot more drawn to calmer environments. And external stimulation is typically very overstimulating, which is why it explains why I don't like clubs. It's the sound, the smell, the touch, everything about it is so overstimulating for me that I just can't even enjoy myself unless I'm drinking. But that's bad.
Yeah.
If I gotta drink to be a normal person.
To be able to enjoy yourself.
Just to be normal.
Yeah.
Like one drink, I'm a normal person. I keep drinking. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's something we both do. Like we'll just shut down when we're there, and we like look at each other like, okay, it's happening. Let's go.
Yeah, you can see the meter dropping.
Yes.
Like, I only got maybe a good hour. Right. That's all you got. And then 68% intuitive. I used to be observant, which is crazy to me. So for more information, observant thinkers, how do I describe? So intuitive observant is like how you see the world and process information. So observant thinkers are more practical. So it's focusing a lot on what's happening or what's already happened.
Right.
And then intuitive thinkers are a lot more open-minded, curious, and just focus more on like future possibilities. So I used to be a lot more practical, but now I'm a little bit more of a dreamer. And I think it's because of just what's been happening in my life. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And I've never even thought to think of like what could happen in this route, which is, I appreciate it.
The daydreamer in me is happy that other people are daydreaming because I am a big daydreamer. So I love it.
And then I got 60% feeling. This one I've always teeter-tottered in between because for the most part, initially I'm a full feeler. And it used to be a weakness of mine because I didn't know how to manage my emotions until I learned it could be a superpower if I learn how to bring my logic into it and just take my feelings into account and not use them as a way to make decisions or justify my decisions.
That part.
But that comes with maturity.
Yeah.
So feelers are typically sensitive and emotionally expressive. We both are.
Yes.
Very empathetic people. Typically less competitive. That does not apply to Kayla.
Now, I don't like competitive environments, though.
Environment when it's too like.
I like doing things competitively in my own mind, but I don't like So, for example, Marcus is one of the most competitive people I know. And typically, if there's settings where, like, we're all playing games or something, and people are super competitive,
I just give up. I shut down.
I'm like, I don't even want to play
no more.
No,
it's not fun.
It's not fun. Like, can we just do it for fun, and not for competition? Like, we don't have to be.
Oh my God, that just reminds me. You know how Jared does like the recreational?
Yes.
And they wanted me to join the flag. First of all, flag football and me, I'm knock-kneed, and I will absolutely be tripping over my own legs.
You're like, no, thank you, please.
But when I watch them do a game, they're serious.
Yes.
And they like yell at, and I'm sorry, but if someone's yelling at me in the middle of me trying to do something I'm already not good at, I'm gonna cry.
That's why I have a hard time with working out.
Wait, but it's crazy because both of us need a personal trainer, but if I get yelled at, I'm
gonna be like, I want to go home, and I don't want to pay you no more to do this.
Look, with tears in your eyes, I want to I can't do this no more.
I want to go home. That's literally my emotion. As soon as I start working out, I want to go.
First of all, when that sound became popular, I was like, this was made for me. Like, anything.
It's my mood all the time.
You can apply it to anything.
Everything.
Literally.
Everything. Ariel took me to sculpting yoga with her last week, and I walked in that room, and the temperature was on hell, and I said, oh, it's time to go already. We haven't even started the workout. I've sweated already. It's time to go. I don't know what else we have to do. I had to walk out in the middle of the workout because I was about to throw up. So I just went and sat outside. You know, like that meme with the fox sitting on the edge of the bed just staring? That was me. I was literally sitting out there like... Oh God! I was like, Kayla, you have to go back in there. Like,
it's time to go.
You cannot let this class
just you better than me. I need air. I need air.
And then it was hard to go back in after it was so cool out there, and then I had to step back into the hell.
See, I couldn't do it. I feel like my body just go in shock.
It was too much. Okay, let's get back on track.
Okay. Anyways, so we're both feelers versus the thinking personalities who are typically a lot more rational, a lot more logical, tend to hide their feelings.
Oh, yeah.
That ain't us.
No, heart on my sleeve.
Right. And
what
I don't
you
care.
What you
gonna hear what I
You gonna know.
Okay, so then the last one is judging. I got 56% judging. So I know when people hear judging, they automatically think judgmental. That's not what it is. So the judging versus perspective thinker, it's measuring you on how do I describe it? How your approach to work. That's what it is. Approach to work, planning, and decision making.
Right.
So judging thinkers are a lot more decisive and thorough and highly organized. I'm not organized, but in my mind, I am.
Okay.
You know,
you have tabs.
I have tabs in my mind.
Yes.
I also have ADHD, which is why I can't
it's
really,
hard.
Dwell in that very organized space.
Yeah.
Even though I know it would be good for me.
Yeah.
They value clarity, predictability, and closure.
Yes.
Prefer structure and planning.
Yes.
Versus perspective thinkers who are really good with improvising, tend to be flexible and go with the flow. So just a year ago, I was a perspective thinker.
Oh.
And I think because of all the stuff with the show and everything being so unpredictable, I crave clarity. I crave structure.
That's very interesting.
It's like
how that shift happened.
Yeah. I will say I always used to say that I'm an adaptive person. But now I know for a fact I'm an adaptive person.
Yeah.
And I
love that.
I love that too.
It's cool to see how your personality shifts over time depending on life circumstances. Yes. And that's why I think these are so cool because it's kind of like a check-in. Yeah. Like, okay, where am I at now? Am I still and then you can, like we're doing, psychoanalyze the reasons why those things might have shifted over time.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see how the show has changed me. Yeah.
It's literally changed me.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the better. I'm hoping this is for the better.
Hope it's a good thing.
You motherfuckers
it's good.
fucked my life up.
I'm so weak.
Anyways.
Okay, let's get into it though. Okay. So the first thing, when you get your results, they give you like a long
very
tabs of different, sections of breakdown about your personality.
Covering like strengths and weaknesses, romantic relationships, what you're like in friendships, what you're like at work, your career path, even as a parent, what you're like as a parent.
Which is so interesting. But we're just going to do a few of them.
Yeah, I'm not doing parenthood.
We're not doing parenthood because we're not parents.
No kids.
We're gonna skip that respectfully. And we're gonna go into, I think we're gonna just start with the introduction.
Okay.
So some of the points I highlighted from my introduction was that we already went over that. I appear quiet, but actually vibrant and passionate.
True.
It's very true. I think when you get to know me and I'm closer with people, then you see my real personality. You're not going to see my real personality when I'm out in big public settings most of the time.
I've spoken to someone before, or I think a few people who knew of you, but then they saw what you were like when you're like around me, and they're like, I didn't know she was like that. I didn't know she was like that.
Like that one day we went out for Marcus's birthday and I was in a good mood that day to just be myself. Yeah. I randomly have these bursts of energies where I feel comfortable. Same. And I was cutting up. Like I told him, I was like, if you're going to have me in this club, I'm going to act a fool. I just want you to know that I might embarrass you a little bit.
I had a grand old time.
That's so funny though. That people don't know.
Even though with me too, because I have that similar thing. Because I'm like, I'm myself, but like around the people that I feel comfortable with,
it's a different story.
Flourish.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time that Anna and Bree, who are my best friends from Georgia, they came to visit up here, and us and Jared and of course all of his friends went to the club. Jared was shocked by the end of the night. Jared was like, I have never seen you act like that before.
Yeah, you're with your people.
First of all, I was twerking all over the place. Look, and Bree holding me up and all. Like, I was acting a plump.
I love that.
Oh, and he was like, I have never seen you like that. And he looked at them and he's like, y'all should visit more often.
Right. Like, let her cut up. Come up here more.
That's crazy, though.
That's hilarious. So what else?
Yeah, is that all you have from your intro?
Like so I have lose themselves in daydreams.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Known for being sensitive. Very much so.
Yes.
Long for deep connection. And that's with friends and romantic relationships. I just crave intimate connection with people. Introspective to core, but yearn to understand people around them as well. So I like to psychoanalyze myself as well as others. So if I'm in a conversation with you, I'm going to try to figure out
why you are the way you are.
Why are you like this?
Why'd you make those decisions?
Yes.
Where did this stem from?
Yes.
That's me.
Yes.
That can get in our way though, because I realize not everyone's like that, and it feels pushy to them when we're like questioning, trying to understand so much. Some people don't want to be understood.
Marcus and I had a conversation about this recently, and he was like, sometimes you're making up narratives.
Oh, yes.
Because you're trying so hard to get it instead of just allowing me to tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always trying to rationalize things. Yeah. And I'm trying to push people to understand themselves better. Because I'm so introspective like that I want other people to be self-aware of the reasons why they're doing things and why they're saying certain stuff. But then it does come across kind of pushy because everyone doesn't have it on the spot like that. Some people need time to process. Yeah. So I'm learning to ask like, okay, do you need time to process this? Are you ready to talk about this? Do you need some time? I'm trying to like
That's a hard lesson to learn because I had to teach myself that the same too.
It's hard.
And it makes me anxious when I can't get those answers immediately. So I had to like manage my own anxiety and just calm the fuck down.
Yes. Gotta go sit in a corner somewhere.
For real though.
And ball up and rock.
Literally. Just a little rocking.
Until I get some answers.
Literally. Okay, so for mine and my intro, it talked, first of all, throughout the entire thing a lot about integrity. Ooh. And about me valuing integrity, which I do. And the way that I move through life is with a very strong sense of my own personal values, which is also very true. Yeah. Apparently my personality type is fairly rare, which is why a lot of times I feel very misunderstood.
Mine is too. Mine says the same thing.
Yep. And I a lot of times feel like I don't belong, which I've always felt, especially in my childhood growing up. I never, even with my family, I never felt like I truly belonged.
Kind of like black sheep vibes.
Yeah. Like, these folks are my family technically, but I feel like I'm not like none of y'all.
Yeah.
And then I'm troubled by injustice, which is very true. Which I can talk more about that in the friendship column.
Yes, that would be good.
That's really true.
I love that.
But yeah, that's the generals. Oh, and then of course that success doesn't come from money or status for me. It's more about seeking fulfillment.
Yes.
By like helping other people.
Yep. We are one and the same in that. Yes. Okay, let's talk about our strengths and weaknesses.
Oh God.
I'm just gonna pick a couple.
Okay.
So to go off of what you said, one of my strengths is that I'm idealistic. So I won't lose sight of living a purpose-filled life.
Okay.
And that has always been me from as far as I can remember. I've always said that if you move with purpose, the money is going to come.
Okay.
Because you're so motivated to be there's always going to be somebody at the top of everything. And that person at the top is going to make a lot of money. Even if it's a field that generally doesn't make a lot of money, if you are in a position where you feel like you want to strive to be better and you want to be the best in that thing, then the money is going to come.
Yeah.
And so I've always been like purpose over the money. Like the money will come. Like I by no means want to be in a position where I don't have, but I also cannot, I just don't have the ability to push myself to do a lot of things I don't want to do.
I feel that.
That is really difficult for me.
I feel that.
I have to be doing something I want to do.
I feel it.
And then the other strength I'll talk about, I guess, is that creative. I'll talk about that one because one of the things I realized in counseling is how important creativity is for me.
It's your
and I have to have it. And I think that when I was like, I've been working and going to school and whatnot, and I realized that I didn't have creativity in my life. And this was the only stage in my life where I was not being creative.
Were you unhappy?
Yes. It was draining me. Yeah. Like, I would cry getting up in the morning, having to go to work and stuff because it's just like, it's heavy for me. So I have to be creative and it has to feel purpose-filled. Otherwise, it's hard. It's really difficult. And then the weaknesses. Unrealistic. Because like I said, I feel like my strengths and my weaknesses go hand in hand. Like, it's like a strength to a certain point, and then because I'm so extreme in that area, so I can be unrealistic with a lot of my expectations of how people are supposed to speak with me, how things are supposed to go. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to move with purpose, and then the money's just going to come, and then bam, like
that's how it happens.
That's how it happens. So that, and then the other one I'll talk about is self-critical. I'm very hard on myself. Like, I want everything to be perfect, and I want myself to be presented in a way that is like professional and trusting and all that stuff. So I could be very critical of myself. Yeah. And I know that I'm the hardest on myself versus anybody else.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So what's your 2?
I'm just going to read off my strengths.
Okay.
And then, okay. So strengths, creative, which I was actually shocked about just because I haven't been in a creative space in a really long time, but which is probably why I also struggle with managing my emotions. Insightful, principled, passionate, and altruistic. Oh. Yeah. Okay. I was like, that pretty much wraps me up. Yeah. And then my weaknesses. Okay. This one actually shocked me. Reluctant to open up. Ooh. Interesting, right?
But I can see that. I can see that with you. Really? Because you will open up, but the circumstances have to be like in the perfect place for you to want to do it. Yeah. Like, you're not the type of person that's just going to be an open book off bat. Yeah. So I can see why they say that.
Pretty much. Okay. You said pretty much. Perfectionistic, which I was also shocked about.
Oh, you're a perfectionist.
Avoiding the ordinary. I never considered this as a weakness. But I can see how it is because I do get bored with just ordinary life. And I'm like, I need something, which is why I've done stuff like move to another state or like chop off my hair or like I get bored. Yes. And it's so hard. Like, I can clearly see the big picture, but it's hard for me to write those steps down to get to that point. Yeah. And then prone to burnout. Ooh. Which I struggle with a lot. I've always struggled with that.
I struggle with that too.
Taking a pause and say, Iyanna, you need self-care.
Yeah.
Like, take care of yourself. Though. Yeah. But yeah,
That was it.
All right. And then what else do you want to do? Friendships or romantic relationships?
Let's do friendships.
Okay, let's do friendships. This one was actually really fun for me to read.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is so true. I can't even.
Yeah, so you could start. Go ahead.
So in both romantic and friendships, it kept talking about how I need authenticity, which I do. Mm-hmm. If I have to tone myself down or if I have to be fake around you, we're not going to be friends.
Not going to work.
And that's usually how I can tell if I'm going to be friends. It's how I feel when I'm around you.
Yeah.
If I feel like I got to tone my...
it's not going to work.
Or if I feel like you're fake.
Yeah.
I can't do
That's
that.
That's also not going to work.
That's not going to work. One thing it said is it's hard for me to respect people who can't be honest with me in return because I'm a very honest person, or more so can't be honest with themselves.
Ooh.
And that's because that goes back to our need to push people to be introspective and self-aware. It frustrates me when I watch someone and I'm like, I know why you are the way. I'm trying to tell you why you are the way, and you don't see it.
And you don't even see it.
Because you're avoiding or you're,
Yeah.
That is frustrating for me.
Yeah.
So much so I can't be around or with that person.
And you can't probably build like closer connection with them if they're not able to do that.
Yes, I'm like, how are we gonna grow?
Yeah.
And that's what it focused on a lot. Like, I need growth. That love for me is growth. And growth is uncomfortable.
It is.
But I'm perfectly okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that's how you get better.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like those. Okay. I relate to that. My main thing is that it's talking a lot about how I like small, intimate circles. I'm always looking for the type of friendships that feel like they're going to last a lifetime, because that kind of goes back to what we talked about in the first episode. Like, once I decide that you're one of my people, you're one of my people, and that's it. And I don't do well with losing friendships and people that I feel connected to in that way. I just take it really hard.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time letting go and wanting to just basically have very close, long-lasting, authentic friendships. Like, that's the main thing that they're talking about here. And they literally have a section for friends for life.
Aww.
It says, when mediators befriend someone, they may secretly or not so secretly hope they stay close to that person for life.
Aww.
And these personalities are capable of strong, stable relationships marked by passionate support, subtle poetic wit, and a profound level of emotional insight.
Wow. Mine said something very similar, except it focused more on like communication. It did say something about like my desire, my end goal is to be one in mind, body, and soul.
I love that.
Because that's what I crave.
Yeah. We're literally the same person.
What is the difference between our personalities?
What were your letters?
Overall, I got INFJ.
We literally just the last letter.
Just the J?
Yeah, I'm perceiving type.
Wow.
I'm INFP and you're INFJ.
Okay.
So that's all the difference is. And then the perceiving type.
Oh, it's just our working, it's how we work. That's just different.
Yeah.
I see.
Because it says prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and adapting to opportunities. They tend to be flexible, non-conformists who value novelty above stability.
Yeah.
That's about right for me.
And I'm in a place where I need stability.
Right. And then I'm 61% prospecting. So I'm mostly that. Over judging.
And I'm 56% judging.
Yeah, but that's good. That's a nice little balance there.
Look at us.
Look at it.
Look at us.
Well, that was good. I feel like we had some good talk about that. So you all definitely take those quizzes. Let us know what you got. Or if you have taken it before, we would love to hear about what your types were for the 16 personalities. So you could take that. That's a free quiz online if you just type in 16personalities.com. And then the attachment style, I don't know how I found that. I just typed it into Google. Attachment style quiz. And it'll give you results, and then they'll give you a little bit of a excerpt. Is that the right word? Excerpt. Yeah, to let you know what that means. Yeah. So, yeah. Woo. Okay, we're on to the next.
Yes.
We're on to Feel of the Week.
I'm actually really excited for this.
I'm so excited because there's so much happening right now.
There's so much happening right now, man.
You start.
Okay. Bachelorette. Did you watch the latest episode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if it was editing or what, but that rose ceremony, the end one,
was absolutely ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
It was absolutely, but also I kind of giggled in the back of my mind a little bit because I remember saying that Rachel was going to have a tough time. Gabby started off having a tough time. Rachel had a tough time at the rose ceremony. But I also did not like how she made the comment going into the rose ceremony, basically like, oh, Gabby, like, I hope she doesn't have a bad time. But I'm like, girl, you don't know how this is going to go. You need to just chill out for a second. And I felt like they were being, well, I won't say Gabby as much because I understand why Gabby got mad because they were rude. Those guys were rude to her.
Do you think they were malicious with it though? Like, do you think their intention?
I think men don't. A lot of times they're not as emotionally intelligent naturally.
They're not
to be able to say things. I don't think that they meant to be.
You're rough around the edges.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. You could have just said, I think you're a beautiful girl, but I would rather pursue and focus my efforts on Rachel. That's it. You didn't have to share all of that. That was extra information that was just not needed. We didn't need that.
You're rough around
the
edges.
So I understand why Gabby got upset. But Rachel, I felt like she was getting upset at the wrong thing.
She was.
Because you all told them to pick.
Thank you. So I'm not gonna lie.
You told them to pick.
I got really frustrated with them because I was like, guys, first of all, you had to know that something like this was going to happen.
Yep.
And I've been on a reality show, and like people didn't quite understand how I was coping well with the fact that I was his quote unquote second choice. But the thing is like I understood going on that show. I'm dating 15 different people.
You knew what you signed up for.
If it wasn't going to happen to Jared, it was going to happen to me. Yep. Jared might have been my second choice. I mean, come on, like it's bound to happen.
And then I think we also need to take into consideration how short of a time span it is that you know these people.
Exactly.
And let's just be real. Like, they're doing things for editing to make the show entertaining.
I agree.
In a certain way, you know? Agree. And so I don't know. I feel like Rachel did a little too much because it just wasn't fair for her to say that she hopes the best for Gabby going into the rose ceremony and then to act a plum fool when guys didn't accept her rose.
I didn't understand that. It's like you want them to be honest.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys want your individual journey, so it's their journey too.
And wouldn't you rather them say no to you then and be real with you up front versus accept it and you know that they have feelings for the other person? That's just,
I mean, come on.
I feel like that was the best thing they could do. I definitely agree with them having to have their own journey because I thought it was ridiculous for them to be dating the same men anyway. So this was the best route to go. But let's just, put our sensitivity aside a little bit. Be big girls.
And have a little logic.
Y'all both want to have a good journey. So if somebody likes somebody else, and Rachel had a whole bunch of guys over what Gabby had because I think from her one-on-ones, she already had some men with roses. And I think Gabby only had like one. So it's just like, just be fair.
Yeah.
Just be fair.
Man.
But aside from that, have you watched Married at First Sight?
I haven't.
Oh, you need to watch.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's not even talk about it right now.
Okay.
Because I need you to.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me.
It's just a little strange, but I just want you to watch and see.
I like strange. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's entertaining to say the least. It's just some interesting things going on. So we'll see about that later. But Beyonce is back. Okay. I need y'all to all be ready for this. I hope you all are already ready because she's here. She has arrived. And Renaissance, I think, is my favorite album by her.
Okay. Okay. Lemonade will, I think, always probably be my favorite.
Yes. Lemonade is an amazing project. And I think the two kind of compete for me because I love Lemonade told the story, but Renaissance does the same thing in a way.
It flows.
And when artists do that and they have all their songs just go into the next song, that does something for me.
I feel it.
It feels good.
I hadn't even really listened to the album until you just kept playing it. And then I will say every single song on that album, even if there's something that I didn't originally like completely love at first, as soon as I hear it the second time, I'm like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, it's a dance album. It feels good.
Yeah.
And people don't make feel good music a lot
That's
right
true.
now.
That's true.
So the fact that she did that in the middle of madness happening in the world,
it's true.
I just feel like it's excellent. Like,
I agree.
I had a dance party in the room when I was listening to it. I listened to it straight through, front to back, and I was like, wow.
Man, people really don't make feel good music like that.
They don't.
It's all this rah-rah.
That's what I call it bang bang shoot 'em up music. That's what we're making right now, and I really want us to move away from that.
Bang bang shoot 'em up. I'm gonna start saying that. You don't.
That's what it is. It's the bang bang shoot 'em up music.
Wow, I call it just rah rah. That's better. That's
bang,
way
bang,
better.
Shoot 'em up.
Bang,
that's
bang,
what we gonna
up.
say because
Bang,
that's
bang,
what it
up.
is. And Beyonce,
I don't want to shoot nothing up. I'm not about that life.
I'm not either.
I'm a suburbs girl.
That's what I'm saying.
Suburban.
I'm trying, and I'm from the city, but like I'm not trying to give like those kind of city vibes.
Yeah.
I want to be. I know my way around the city, but that doesn't mean that I want to be in scary situations, okay? I'm trying to stay safe out here in these streets. I don't have time for this.
And that's definitely something you have to consider and talk about in Chicago.
Yeah, you do. And that's the culture here.
It's the culture.
The music is bang bang.
Bang bang shoot 'em up
music. So
we don't like violence here.
We don't like it. Please.
No violence.
Can y'all make some feel good music
Please.
again for the softies like me and Iyanna?
Like me.
Yeah. So I love every song on the album. I think my favorites though, because I'm sure people will want to know, what are your favorites? Okay. I think Alien Superstar for sure. Then Cuff It.
Okay.
Cuff It, I grabbed a glass of wine to cuff it. And I plugged, my disco lights that I have.
Oh, you was dancing.
I plugged those into the wall.
God, I love those kind of moments.
Yeah.
By yourself, too.
And then I love the song Pure Honey because I feel like it makes me feel as though I can vogue. Even though I'm not that great
I was
at
about
it.
to say, feel like you can you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I tried to the other night. I tried to do like
the drop.
Well, not from standing up. Like I was on the floor, I was rolling around, and I tried to just like stretch back into it, and then I strained a muscle in my leg. So I think that I need to prepare a little bit more for that moment.
Maybe
but
a little bit.
Beyonce is giving me the courage to do that.
You know what? We love that for you.
We love that.
We love that for you. First of all, I don't know how they do the drop. It's the drop.
Ooh, have you seen Legendary before?
I have.
Oh my god!
And it just like I have so many questions.
I binged that show from season 1 all the way to the most recent season in maybe like a week.
Oh wow!
Max. And I watched it all, and I'm obsessed, and I'm ready for Legendary to come back immediately. That's my jam. That's my kind of show.
Oh, maybe we'll get big enough, and you can be a guest star.
What?
You can be a judge.
I would cry. They'd be like, we need to get this girl out of here. She's crying. Excuse me, can we get a new guest judge? Because
Please.
What? I would love to. I sit there and be like, yes, I need sir. But yes, I love Legendary. So that's why this album it really
did something
sinks
to you.
into my spirit because that's my thing.
Okay.
What about you?
My fill of the week?
Yes. What have you been into?
So I told you about this podcast, or not this podcast, this YouTube channel, and this just goes to show where my interests lie. It's called Observe. Check it out. Yeah. There's this guy who he reads body language. He's a body language analyst,
right?
And he does a lot of kind of different kind of videos. Like he did like some Ted Bundy stuff at one point.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
like,
interesting.
I'm talking like prominent people. He'll like read their body language. But then he also does reality TV every once in a while, which he hates doing because it's reality TV. And he did Love Is Blind.
Oh yeah.
I watched all of the first season first before our show came out, and then I was so excited for ours to come out because I wanted him to do it so bad. He's only done 2 episodes. He's only done 2 episodes of it. But they're really insightful. They're so interesting. First of all, I've read the same body language book about 3 to 4 times.
Ooh, that's really interesting.
I love reading body language. It's like a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
And I would like legit read that book. I can't even remember the name of it. I'm so mad. But from front to end, from cover to end, and I would go out and practice.
Ooh.
And I'd just be like reading people, especially couples. Oh my God, it was so fun.
That's fun to read couples
it's
like
so
that.
fun.
That's something I have to do a lot with counseling. Like I try to look at people's body language, but it's been hard because since we've been doing it like virtually, we aren't able to it's not as easy to see in person. I feel that. You know, but it's really interesting to pick up on people's body language. I would love
to do that. If I were a counselor, I would be like very specific. Like you need to put the camera I need to see like at least for like your knees up.
Yeah. So you could get the full picture.
You can get the full picture.
Yeah, that's real. Because I be sitting there when I be on sessions with my counselor, I be twiddling my fingers and she can't see that. And that's important stuff because then that means like I'm nervous or
if you're crossing your legs or
all of those things.
That.
That's interesting. So what did he talk about on the episode?
Oh my God, everything. He definitely focused a lot on, of course, Shane and Shake. But they only got so far as the Mexico.
Okay.
So they didn't do anything after Mexico.
Okay.
But it's taken them so long just to do the second episode because it's at least a few months in between the first to the second one of the series.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they push out the other one next.
So do you feel like watching it that he's been pretty spot on about everything?
Lord, don't let me on the spot because they're gonna go watch it. They're gonna go watch it and be like, "Oh, I gotta say it." I mean, yeah, he's been
generally speaking, yes,
he's been pretty spot on, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely interesting.
We won't say anymore.
Love that podcast. I mean, why do I keep calling it? Oh, because we're on a podcast,
right?
Love
and you're
that
listening
YouTube.
to it, probably like watching it and listening to it at the same time. It's kind of
auditory experience. Yeah. But definitely a good YouTube channel.
Okay, what else?
I think that's all I got.
That's all you got?
I think so.
Anything else you like?
Is that a fill of the week?
That's it. That might be it.
Are we doing a feelings forecast? Are we doing that?
You want to do it?
Let's do the feelings forecast. Because I want to talk about what I did over the weekend.
Okay.
Which is why I'm so tired right now.
Yes. Tell us what you did.
So like mentioned last week, I went to Lollapalooza.
She got it right, y'all. Okay. We got it together. She's ready now.
Lollapalooza. I went to Lollapalooza. I only went 2 days. I think that's all I could handle, honestly. Went on Thursday. I really only went for Jasmine Sullivan, but it was an experience.
Why else would you need to go?
I mean, why else? Thank you.
It's the Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh my God. It was awesome. So I did that. That's really, and then after I saw her, I basically went home. Well, no, because I went to the Bud Light. Thank you, Bud Light. I went to the Bud Light area, VIP area, and then we saw the rest of the cast. The rest of the cast were there. I hadn't realized that they were going to be there yet. So that was pretty cool. But then I went on Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So I was so excited. So I saw Big Sean.
That's so exciting.
J. Cole.
I'm jealous.
And then Big Sean brought out Janae Aiko. When I tell you, I lost it.
Yeah, I would lose it too. And she's pregnant.
She's so cute. I mean, she's cute in general, but she was so cute pregnant.
I'm just so happy that they are having a baby.
I am too.
Because I've always loved them together.
I did too.
And to see them be able to produce a child.
And music.
I know.
They're coming out with another 2098.
I can't wait for that.
I know. I'm really excited.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be good.
Especially because they're going through this life transition. I feel like that music is going to be so good.
And how Janae is too. Like, I think that she creates really good music in transitional periods.
Agreed.
So I'm just so excited. She's one of my favorite artists too.
Same.
I can't wait for another album from her.
I'm really excited for that.
That's gonna be good. I'm also jealous about J. Cole because he's my favorite rapper.
Girl. When I tell you, first of all, I squeezed my little ass in between everybody, and I got in the corner of that little VIP section. I was squished, but I didn't care. I had a grand old time. So the only concerts I've ever been to were Chance the Rapper.
Same.
And J. Cole.
Okay.
Shout out to Reggie. Why am I always shouting somebody out? Shout out to Reggie.
Give a shout out.
Because I love my people.
Right.
Me and Reggie, my best friend from college, made a tradition of going to every J. Cole concert. We were supposed to go to Dreamville, but I couldn't go because of something for the show.
Because I remember you were talking to me about going to Dreamville.
For like a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and I was so sad that I couldn't go.
I need to see J. Cole. Every time he comes, I miss him. I've seen a lot of people... Well, I won't say a lot, but I've seen a decent amount of people in concert.
Yeah.
I've seen Destiny's Child.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
You got money.
Yeah. Well, I went with my parents. I was a kid then. So
and they were child appropriate.
Yeah. I love Destiny's Child. I grew up, that's why I am a Beyonce stan, because I grew up on Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much it. So Destiny's Child. Then I saw Lady Gaga.
Really?
One of the best concerts been
she's
to.
a performer.
She's a performer. And it was a whole storyline, me going back to the stories. But her concert was like a storyline.
You love an experience.
I do. I want it to be put together and I want it to be well-rounded.
That's artistry.
Yes. Because a lot of people don't do that. They'll get up there and they'll just sing and that's cool. But you go for a show. Like, I can listen to you sing at home, you know? So I saw Lady Gaga. I saw Rihanna.
Wow, you've seen a lot of big wigs.
Yeah, Chance. I've seen Chance a few times. You know, if Chance ever comes across this podcast, that would just warm my soul. But I'm one of those diehard Chance fans because when I was in high school, that's when he was coming up. And he used to come up to my high school and hand out tickets to his shows and things. So,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, so I went to his show for 10 Day, which was his mixtape that he made.
Oh, you were there before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had only came in on Acid Rap.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled.
You got to listen to 10 Day. 10 Day is a nice project. But
I'll check it out.
I love seeing Chance in concert. I went to Magnificent Coloring Day too.
Okay.
And that was really good.
I bet.
It was crazy because they brought Kanye. I've seen Kanye in concert as well. But it was not a great experience.
I was like, why'd you say it like that?
Because I just thought about how mad he made me that he came to Chicago and he kind of played us. I mean, it was around the time though when Kim got robbed.
Oh.
So I feel like he just was going through some stuff, but it was the Life of Pablo tour. Oh. And he just was real dry. Like, it wasn't... like, you know, when artists come to their home city, they do something a little special. He didn't do nothing. He got up there, performed the songs. The screen was like, you know how Kanye is. He want to be all mysterious and stuff. So you couldn't even see his face on the screen. I'm just sitting there like, dang, like... what I pay all this money for? I can't even see you. I see your figure on the screen and he on the floating stage.
Did he have a mask on too?
I don't think he was doing that then, but he might as well have because how he had the effects on the screen, you couldn't see his face. No. So yeah, and then he just walked out at the end. He didn't do no Chicago.
No shout out, no nothing?
No. He don't love us for real. So yeah, that was, I've seen Kanye and I've seen
LMA.
LMA.
Is it I can never pronounce nothing
right.
Get
it together.
LMA.
LMA, was she good?
So this was before she was big too, but it was right at the beginning of her first album.
Okay.
So it had just released, but it hadn't like, you know.
That's fun though.
Yeah, my boyfriend at the time.
Not to look the.
I was about to shout him out too. Let me not.
You don't get no shout.
Sorry. But yeah, he took me. It was he surprised me with tickets. It was really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I want to go to see J. Cole. I need to see J. Cole. Oh, I've seen Beyonce and Jay-Z. That was also in the top 2 with Lady Gaga, but Beyonce's gonna have to go first. So yes, anytime Beyonce comes to town, I have to go.
How much are those tickets?
It don't matter. It's an experience.
What if it's like 1 month's rent? Is it usually? I feel like it is like 1 month's rent.
Mine weren't one month's rent. I got pretty close too. Like, I could see Jay-Z's face. Like, he was right there, and I was like,
oh wow.
Yeah, it was good. But I feel like it's worth it because I'm not paying for you to look like an ant on the stage. Like, I want to see you. If I'm
not trying to get bowed in the face.
So I'm already saving my coins up right now. I'm about to have a special saving fund for Beyonce tickets because when this tour date releases, she's just going to take all my money.
You know what? Maybe I'll do the same because I've never been to. I've always wanted to go to a Beyonce concert.
Let's go together. You have to go to a Beyonce concert.
I feel like everyone should.
Everyone should.
She's going to go down as legendary.
Best living performer that we have.
Agreed.
And that's not up for debate. So don't be trying to tell me, no, it's it's Beyonce. So that's it for episode number 2. Thank you all for tuning in. Please let us know about your 16 personalities score, results, and then also what you got for your attachment style. We would love to know and have further conversations about that.
Yes.
Yay. So thanks, guys. Bye. And we'll talk to you next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.